Welcome guys to a new format I'll be doing. I'll be going over the top 5 cryptocurrencies as well as my take on the entire space. Now this is a new format, so there'll be some trial and errors, but I'll work out the kinks and try to make the delivery as easy as possible. And we'll get right into it, and we'll start with CryptoSlate. This is a site I like to go to. It shows me the entire space, and it's pretty simple format. I can see the total market cap sitting at 2.24 trillion right now. We can see Bitcoin dominance. We can just get a quick idea of how these coins are doing. And I want to point out, Ethereum has been on a tear, sitting at close to 400 billion in market cap. You can just see it's up 28% in the last week, and it's up 6% in the last 24 hours. Another one that everyone's talking about is Doge. It just flipped Ripple and sitting at 53 cents. We'll go over this in a bit. It's up almost 100% in the last week and 33% in the last 24 hours. Now, I'll be drawing the line in the sand at around 50 billion. I don't want to talk about Cardano, Polkadot, Uniswap, and I don't want to keep going down the list. So 50 billion will be the line in the sand that I'll do my charting on. So you'll see Ripple chart, DogeCoin, Binance, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long video. Now, there are two alts that I'm currently looking at that's outside of the top 10, and I want to just mention that because you'll see them on the side of my watch list. One of them is going to be Polygon. It's a layer 2 for Ethereum, sitting under 4 billion. It's been on a nice run, however, it's pulling back a bit. And the other one is going to be Hydra Hashgraph, sitting at $2.4 billion. It's down large today and down about 4% in the last week. Now, these are two alts that I think that can appreciate in terms of Bitcoin denomination. They have some good narratives behind them, which is why you'll see these alts on my list. And in future videos, if you guys want to nominate an altcoin, I would love to hear what you guys want me to talk about, and we could do like the crypto of the day or something like that. But that's down the road. Let's get into dominance. So the dominance is sitting at 45.8% in Bitcoin. I want to take a look at this chart, and I want to point out the 61% and the 38% Fibonacci are very strong levels. You can see the 61 kind of played support in the last year, and you can see back in the 2017, 2018 alt run, you can see 38 played kind of a floor. It got down to 33, but we're not going to pick pennies here. You can see the 38 played support, and this 61 played a support. However, we are just tumbling, as you can see right there, sitting at about 45%. We can see Other as well as Ethereum have been on a very strong uptrend and stealing the spotlight from Bitcoin, which I think isn't too bad. Bitcoin out of the spotlight is a great time to buy when not everyone is talking about it. Everyone's talking about Ethereum, Doge. Bitcoin is kind of getting pushed to the side, and keep in mind, I think the entire space needs Bitcoin to succeed. But let's take a look at some of my charts, and we'll start with Bitcoin. It's actually tanking as we speak, down 6%. I want to point out there was a thing I call crossover, and it was right here. It means volatility is on its way. And what do we have? Volatility to the downside, and we are just crumbling right here in Bitcoin. 51.8 on this chart is a Fibonacci level, should play some sound support, as well as 53,500, which is about the $1 trillion market cap line in the sand. So it looks like we're about to break 1 trillion. When we take a look at this on my Binance chart, you can see some other levels. You can see we got rejected at this 57.9, putting in a double top here, and we're breaking through a Fibonacci as we speak, 54.4. The next one here is 52,000. So you can see back to back, that 52 should play very strong support. And then we have my Bitstamp chart, which we're sitting right on a pitchfork right there. There's the crossover, and you can see the volatility. So I like to point out crossovers, but let's take it back to a daily. I want to point out bigger picture here in Bitcoin. I think some big move is going to be happening around the middle of May. You can just see that crossover. So whether we come down here, consolidate and bounce, I don't know. I'm not going to predict where it's going to go. I love Bitcoin long term, but these crossovers predict some volatile moments in the space, and we can see May 14th, buckle up. It's in about 2 weeks, give or take. So Bitcoin is weak, you could say. But let's move on to Ethereum, and we take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum's sitting at 0.06. I don't like to look at any of these alts in USD. I have Doge up here just because a lot of my friends talk about Doge, just so I can get a quick reference on it for them. But I like to look at it in Satoshis, and right now we're sitting at 6 million Satoshis. You can see there's a pitchfork that we're kind of flirting with, as well as about 6.5 million Satoshis right here is the 38. So this area is going to be very strong for Ethereum to break through. You can see the 7.1 as well. So I would say, give or take, this entire area is going to be very hard to just blow past. And you just take a look, there's two crossovers right there. One of them is around beginning of June 9th. Other one's around June 24th. So volatility is on the horizon here with Ethereum. And you just take a look at Ethereum. For the month of April, it did over 60% or so, 55-60%, which is pretty remarkable if you ask me. So it appreciated against the Bitcoin. Now it went from 03 to 06. So that's a very nice move if you ask me. When we look at the bigger picture here in Ethereum, how high do we go? Can we get to 0.27 for Ethereum making one Bitcoin? It could be well in the cards. As you can see, this is a Fibonacci time series, and that's in probably the middle of 2022. So we could potentially just keep ripping higher into a quarter of a Bitcoin per one Ethereum, which would be absolutely insane if you ask me. We'll move on to Binance. So let's take a look at my Binance chart. And Binance has been the coin of the year, if you want to ask me, because it's just been on an absolute tear. Just take a look at this move since the beginning of the year. We were sitting at around 1,200 Satoshis, and now we're up at over 100,000 Satoshis, in 8-bagger at least on Binance coin. So Binance is down today 4%, but it's been on an absolute tear, and we have a Fibonacci time series on May 17th. So that could be the bell ringing moment, middle of May, that alts kind of get a pullback, rotation back into Bitcoin. We'll have to take it day by day because it's too far out to predict that. Next, we'll move to Doge. Doge just flipped Ripple. You can just see we passed Ripple's market cap in today's trade, and it is on an absolute tear. I'm looking at it in Satoshis, and it's sitting at 950 Satoshis. This was something that was 20 Satoshis in the beginning of the year. Had you bought this thing, you're up 38% on your money. Now, the thing with Doge, you got to be careful. It's like going to Las Vegas and playing slots, because Doge has a lot of its supply locked up by very few amount of people. And I want to show you the Doge rich list. About 100 people have 100 million plus Doge, and that makes up over 67% of the supply. Let's say they called up all Doge millionaires with at least $1 million. That's 86 supply. If they were all in a Discord group and they said, all right, guys, let's all sell, let's all buy, they could really shake you out of the position. However, if they all work together and don't want to sell, this is something with a lot of hype. My mom knows about Doge, that we'll see people buy and continue to drive the price higher. You just got to be very careful, because if one of these whales decides to dump, is the demand there to support the price and absorb it? Otherwise, it's going to fall through the roof. But if all these guys want to sit on their hands, Doge can continue to climb. And when we take a look at some of my Doge charts in terms of US dollars for you guys, just to give you an idea, this thing can get up to 72 cents. Should play the next resistance level. We're wicking now. We're seeing some profits taking from a lot of these whales. But these are some levels to look out for, and it would be pretty crazy to see $1 in Doge, but I'm not ruling it out if majority of these supply is just being sat on. You could potentially see $2 in Doge, and you got to ask yourself, if we do, what does that mean for Bitcoin? Because Doge would be in the top 2 at that point if we saw it do another 4x right now, sitting at, where were we at? Sitting at 268 billion. It would go to almost 300 billion past Binance coin, on its way to flipping Ethereum. So it's a meme in of itself, which is kind of funny. But these are some levels to look out for in Doge. And then last but not least, we have Ripple. I don't really like Ripple as much. It's kind of down big. If you look at it back historically, this thing was 18,000 Satoshis. Now it's sitting at 2,500 Satoshis. So it has room to make up. I would say this 4,100 is a pivot line in Ripple. So if we can make our way up here, this could be a big breakout in Ripple. But again, you got to ask yourself, what does that mean for the entire space? Ripple getting to that level, what does it mean for Bitcoin price and Ethereum price? It has room to appreciate in terms of Bitcoin in dominance, as you can see right there, but it's just not a coin that's for me. I'm really into Bitcoin and looking for some alts outside the top 10. For instance, we take a look at Matic. Matic is a coin that I think can appreciate in Satoshi, sitting at about 1,300. I think this thing can get up to 2,000, possibly 3,000 Satoshis. It's layer 2 for Ethereum. I think it has a great narrative, and I like to buy altcoins with good narratives. So I'll be keeping my eye on Matic as well as HBAR. This is another good narrative coin as well. It's relatively new, and it could potentially have a lot of ground to cover. This thing potentially could blow through up to 3,000, 4,000 Satoshis. We'll have to take it day by day. But if the entire space wants to grow, which brings me to the final slide, Total market cap. If this total market cap wants to grow, when we take a look at it on a daily, we're getting rejected at 2.27. So we're putting in a double top here and we're coming back down. Are we going to come back down to 2 trillion total space? And if so, you better buckle up, because this is a space, the entire crypto space, that's very volatile. It's still trying to find price discovery, and I think it has a lot of ground to cover. Just take a look at this on a monthly, and I don't think the breakout is done just yet. It ripped in 2015 to 2018, kind of cooled off in 2019, and it got going back up into 2022, into 2021, and I really think we can see $3.5 trillion in the entire space. And if we do, it's going to be done on the backs of a lot of altcoins, which brings me to the calculator. If we get to 38% dominance in Bitcoin and we reach 3.5 trillion, you're looking at 1.3 trillion in Bitcoin. We divided by roughly 19 million. You're looking at around $70,000 priced Bitcoin, maybe in the 60s. So Bitcoin won't have that much ground to cover, but I think it is the king when you look at the entire space. I think Bitcoin is going to play a base monetary layer for the entire space. Think of how the US dollar, world reserve currency, is for a lot of trading in FX, but Bitcoin will play that as well. It's the digital gold of the crypto space, and I don't see it slowing down. But keep your eyes in the short term. We're seeing today stocks down large, potentially crypto selling off with it. And yeah, so I'll just end it there. I'll be doing these videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is going to be my crypto breakdown of the entire space. Monday, Wednesday, I think I'm going to be doing trending tickers, and then my market breakdowns are just going to be on Friday for the week in review. Now, my Monday, Wednesday videos, when I do a top trending ticker, I'll also kind of give an overview of what's going on in the market, just not as in-depth as my Friday videos will be. I'm mixing it up. I'm really passionate about cryptos, and I talk about it in my breakdowns for a sliver of the time. So making full videos on it, I'm super excited to give you guys my thoughts on the entire space and where I see things going, because this is a space that changes very fast. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll be doing these crypto videos, and depending how they go, potentially more, but that's my video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. It means a lot if you guys can show some support and like the video. And if you want to show some love, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It means a lot if you guys can do that for me. I'm trying to make my way to 1,000, so every subscriber I can get, I appreciate it. But any comments or questions for me, any cryptos you'd like me to talk about it, I could add it to my list, and I could break it down for you in Bitcoin denomination as well as USD, give you some of my levels, draw some Fibonacci's and pitchforks, and just kind of give you some ideas of where that coin could potentially go. But on that note, guys, I will see you in the next one. Take care. Peace!